Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. It's Saturday. How wonderful is that? It is Saturday, August 26th. I have friends that are spending the night that are visiting from Tepic. They're delivering a birdhouse that they made for other friends. So I'm just excited. I got to clean the house a little bit. Yes, my cave doesn't look so much like a cave, but there's still a lot of work to be done. I hope you're all having a good morning. I hope you had your coffee. And I hope you are having a great day and have wonderful plans for the weekend. This, of course, is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at news and comments and ideas and questions about how our lives are here in Puerto Vallarta, how they can be more connected, not only to the city, but how we can foster better connections with one another. That's what we do. If you are new to the live experience, please write the word new and we'll give you a nice, happy welcome. If there is something in your mind that you wish to share with everyone and you don't want us to miss it or me to miss it, it helps a great deal if you can add a capital letter Q. And that way we'll be able to take a look at your comment. Today, as usual, we have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and some interesting things to look forward to in the fall. I am getting all excited. It's not even September. And, September and October bring interesting things to look forward to. But I'm seeing events being announced, and I'm seeing friends announcing return trips and this, that, and the other. And I'm just getting excited about the fall. This, of course, as we're schwitzing the summer away, but it is what it is. Okay, so enough chit chat. Let us take a quick. Pat says, joining you again today from 15D. Paco, you are right. I am happier the closer I get to PV. That's lovely, Pat, but I have no idea what 15D is. Let's invoke Gina.
¿Qué es eso? No entiendo.
Yeah, ¿qué es eso? No entiendo. I don't understand 15D. But if you are getting closer to the city, I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyhow, let's see what we have in terms of news for today. And we're going to start with something we already knew was coming. As announced, a group of locals from several colonias once again blocked traffic at City Hall to protest due to water shortages and the fact that whatever water comes out of their pipes is not clean. Those protesting also complained about the fact that neither SEAPAL Director Jorge Alberto Castillo nor Puerto Vallarta's Mayor Michel acknowledged them. But of course, then this other news item says that Mayor Michel did meet with the group and did make new promises in writing to deliver a quality, uninterrupted service along with the rehabilitation of water wells that are presently not being used. Let us keep our fingers crossed and hope that our friends living in Pitillal and areas that have been affected will indeed get the water service that they need and deserve. Now, this next one gave me some pause. And it's not necessarily bad news, but it's not necessarily good news either. It's something to think about. How many ambulances do you think Puerto Vallarta, a city of 400,000 inhabitants, has available and ready to go in case of an emergency? And I'm not talking about ambulances associated with private hospitals or ambulances owned by the Red Cross. I'm talking about ambulances by that are owned or managed by the municipality itself. Apparently, council member Lupita Guerrero recently published a video in which she affirms that out of the 8 ambulances that the city has, there is only one ambulance in working condition. Apparently, the city council approved a budget of 4 million pesos for new ambulances, and Mayor Michel said, let me see. Adding that maybe they will be purchased, maybe not, since there are private ambulances and Red Cross ambulances, so it's not that urgent. Of course, the fact remains that not everybody out there can afford a private ambulance. And I suppose the bottom line, and I don't have an answer because, like a good Vallartense, I'm not thinking about this, and maybe we all could use a little bit of reflection. The bottom line is, what happens when you call 911 in case of an emergency? According to this council person, there have been cases in which people have died because the ambulance never came. And I'm talking about really extreme situations. But of course, these are the kinds of things that we don't think about until we are having an emergency. So again, I have no specific answers for you, but this is something that, next time you go to a doctor or next time you talk to your favorite friend that knows about the medical system here in Puerto Vallarta, you may want to just ask your physician, if something unexpected happens tomorrow and I call 911 for an emergency, what is going to happen? I think we can all use a little bit of knowledge there. And yes, I'm aware. I see some comments about spam. I saw a big turd go by, and all we can do is ignore it. Ignore the spam, please. So this next one, I loved finding out about this bit of news, although it somehow bums me out when I find interesting news about Mexico in foreign publications and not in national ones. Or maybe I missed this one, but according to The Guardian, Mexico is the latest country where politicians are seeking to deter environmental damage by criminalize it. The article goes on to inform on other countries in the world that are either in the process of criminalizing ecocide or have already done so. So I think that is excellent news. And by the way, we mentioned this ecological fair that is going on this morning, this environmental fair, and it goes on from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And earlier today, I was looking on Facebook at some live videos that they were posting. So the vendors and the booths were already setting up, and it looks like it's going to be a really awesome event. This, of course, is an environment fair that is going on today at Hotel Rosita from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you are in the neck of the woods, you may want to have a look at that if it's something that you're interested in. And I certainly hope you are. We can all become a little bit more mindful of our environment. Let us take a look at the weather just to see what's going on out there. I'll put it on my screen and oh my goodness, snarky weather is snarky. Snarky weather says, see, I fucking told you, rain stopping in 1 minute. Well, it's really sunny out there, so there's no rain out of my window. It is 28 degrees. Humidity is at 74%. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 82. And our weather forecast for today says thunderstorms through the day, rainfall about 5 millimeters, a 57% chance of rain, a high of 31, and a low of 22. Tomorrow, Sunday, we will expect mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 66%, a high of 30, and a low of 22. And we will have a beginning of the week on Monday with rain in the morning, thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 85%, a high of 30, and a low of 22. And let's see what else I have set up for you. Of course, today is a gratitude Saturday. So, as always, we take a little bit of time just to acknowledge those wonderful friends that have chosen to support Coffee and Headlines through a membership. And we have two new cluster angels to welcome. Thank you very much, Nabiel and Susie. Thank you very much, Kathleen, for your support. It is very, very much appreciated. And of course, we acknowledge our five community partners. We always acknowledge them at the beginning of every broadcast. And they are Apache's Martini Bar, a fun bar in the heart of Zona Romantica, Best Cord Cutting TV, a locally based television service provider, Hotel Mercurio, Puerto Vallarta's favorite LGBT plus hotel. Then we have Bistro Mercurio, which is Hotel Mercurio's own restaurant. And last but not least, the Joint Co-working Hotel, the beautiful hotel and learning center, where I have the pleasure of doing my music appreciation presentations. Anytime you have the opportunity of supporting any of these businesses, you are, in a way, supporting Coffee and Headlines. So that is very much appreciated. Now, yesterday was a fun day for me, and I have a little bit of, well, not a lot, but just a little bit of show and tell. Let me set it up. And I went to Costco because I needed to go shopping to do some things around the house. And of course, I was really laughing because there continue to be news about this cake shortage or cake limitations in Costco. Now there's a Costco in Zapopan in Guadalajara that is restricting the number of cakes that you can buy. So when I got to the cash register at the local Costco, I asked the cashier, I said to her, so what do you think about this situation? And she's like, well, we've been restricting here in Puerto Vallarta for months, so we don't know what the big fuss is all about. So there you have it. We shouldn't spend much time thinking about this. I also happen to cite this. Costco is starting their seasonal chiles en nogada presentation. They are available at 3 per package for takeout. They're ready to go. They're not expensive, 349 pesos. That's less than what you pay for a chile en nogada in a restaurant. Of course, some people might say, well, you know, you're better off going to a restaurant for chiles en nogada, and I kind of agree with that. But then I've heard from more than one person that the chiles en nogada sold by Costco are nothing to frown about. So they're there in case you are interested. And of course, yesterday, as I mentioned, I went to the movies, and I want to tell you a little bit about this film that I went to see with my friends. It's called Blue Beetle. It's a film about a DC Comics character that turns into a blue beetle. And it was so entertaining and fun and juvenile and silly. And what made the movie truly awesome is that it portrays a Mexican family living in the United States. So it is peppered with all kinds of wonderful expressions. I heard chingadera a number of times during the film, and there were some great colorful metaphors said by, I always love it when grandmas like get putty mouthed. So there's a grandma in the movie that turns out to be quite a dude. So why you should see this film in case you care to go see it. Well, first of all, because I think that what's going on north of the border with the strikes for writers and actors, I don't think it's going to get a lot of promotion. It is also about a Mexican family and Mexican community, and the film is about family and community. And, I don't know exactly how generalized anti-Mexican sentiments are north of the border. I just hope that this movie gets its money's worth. I mean, that the investment in the film is worth it. But for us living here south of the border, it's perfectly entertaining. If you want to have some fun, if you want to learn some Mexican colorful expressions, you should consider going to this movie. I want to purim pam pum pam also mention this. Yes, the hot air balloon festival is coming back to Leon, Guanajuato. Leon, Guanajuato has this annual hot air balloon that has no comparison in Mexico. And apparently, the company that takes us to Tequila and back on the same day is planning a tour. Now, am I recommending that you do this as a tour? I am not. Or then again, I'm not necessarily discouraging you from going with this particular company, but I do suggest that you earmark the dates. This is going to happen from November 16th to November 20th. If you happen to find yourself around that time either planning a trip to Guanajuato or San Miguel de Allende or thereabouts, and you have some flexibility with your scheduling, seeing the hot air balloon festival in person is mind blowing. I mean, there may be other places in the world where you can see that many at the same time, but I have seen it a number of times because I used to have relatives living in León, Guanajuato, and it was really, really stunning. So I'm going to leave that in the show notes for you to look at in case this floats your boat, no pun intended. And last but not least, this is not coming until November 5th, but the SPCA here in Puerto Vallarta is already promoting a fall brunch at Hacienda San Angel to benefit the association. This is going to take place on November 5th. And the reason why it caught my attention this morning, when it is only Saturday, August 26th, is not necessarily because I'm just itching to go to this particular event, but how refreshing it is that a local nonprofit has the foresight to start planning and announcing an event ahead of time in such a way that it allows for many people to find out about it with enough anticipation and for many people to participate. So there you have it. We have often mentioned that the SPCA here in Puerto Vallarta publishes a beautiful newsletter that they send out to their subscription base to keep people informed of what they're doing, and we think that is absolutely commendable. With that said, we can jump over to our chit-chat mode just to see who is here and what is going on. And we start with all these wonderful good mornings, which I love looking through. Oh my goodness. And of course, Logan was with me at the movies yesterday, and it was so nice to see that Logan is slowly recovering. Well, not slowly, but progressively recovering. And since Logan is doing a thing about chile relleno, I also want to let you know that I spoke with our dear friend Carmen Porras from Oculto. She's already planning Mexican independence events, which are going to include a chile relleno event, and then she's going to do a multicolored tortilla event. I am waiting to get all the details, but I am excited for Carmen. As you know, September is Mexican Independence Month, so there's all kinds of fascinating things to look forward to. Oh dear. Spam. Does anybody fall for things like that? Jesus. Thank you very much. 15D is a toll highway. Now we know exactly where Pat is. No big whoop. I'm glad you're getting closer, my friend. Let's see. Stan says, I have thought about ambulances. The sad truth is that if you have a medical emergency, you most likely will not make it alive to the hospital. Well, that's definitely a possibility, but fortunately, not all medical emergencies are fatal. But even so, if time is of the essence in whatever happens to a person, the not knowing exactly. I mean, if we get all bent out of shape because Uber takes too long to get here, I mean, if the ambulance's time to get to your destination or to your location is worse than the Uber one, then that's definitely thought-provoking, at least in my book. Let's see. Sherry says, love the hot dogs at Costco. Paco says, I do too. Alan says the churros at Costco are not good. Well, there's a lot of cholesterol in those, I'm sure. And Linda likes the chiles en hogada from Costco. And there's another Q. Weirdly, La Comer has a display of Costco branded chips and nuts, maybe for people who don't have Costco memberships. I think, Clive, that may have something to do with the corporation that owns all those stores. So, it's a good thing that you can get some of those chingaderas at La Comer. Now Logan has a good idea. Let's do a Costco chiles en hogada party. We can reheat them in the air fryer. Well, I won't be reheating mine because I like them room temperature, personally, as they were designed to be consumed. Although I appreciate that some people like the chiles en hogada warm. Let's see. Deborah says, where to find out about all the September events? Well, Deborah, we endeavor to put out as much information as soon as we see it available. So I'll be the first person to say that you find out about those things here at Coffee and Headlines. But for better or for worse, I mean, we were just talking about a nonprofit that had the courtesy and the foresight to announce something way in advance. Not everybody is like that. I can tell you that every year, without exception, Mexico celebrates Mexican independence on September 15 at night with a colorful fireworks display, on September 16 in the morning with a beautiful parade and other kinds of activities. I can also tell you that in the middle of the month, on the 14th, as a matter of fact, I don't even have my flyer here, at least not yet, but I will be doing a presentation on Mexican independence on September 14th. So those are things that I can absolutely tell you about right now. Everything else we will share as we learn about it. Frank says, nice to casually run into you and Gina at La Comer yesterday. I was truly out of it regarding the time when I asked you who was doing Coffee and Headlines if you are standing here in the La Comer aisles. No, that was very funny, Frank, because I'm like walking down the aisle and Frank is walking with his cart, and he asks me, so, who's doing Coffee and Headlines for you? And I said, well, that was like an hour ago. Gina and I went shopping for groceries together at both La Comer and at Costco. And you have no idea how much fun it is to shop with a restaurant owner, because she had all kinds of commentary for the things I chose to buy for my house, and I had all kinds of commentary for the things she chose to buy for her restaurant. So it was absolutely delicious. Let's see. Purim, pum, 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 pum. I think we are pretty much at the end of today's broadcast and at the end of this week. As always, I thank you for your comments, your insight, your ideas, your suggestions. I am so excited for this weekend, and I'm excited for next week, and I'm excited for the rest of the month and for the fall. So there. I hope you have great things to look forward to in the following days, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll be here Monday, and hope you are too. Take care.